everyone. Welcome to This Day. It is Thursday, July 2nd. And before I go ahead and tell you who's on our show, let me just give you a reminder that due to a COVID-19 case, there is an interruption of the fixed route transportation service. So let me just go ahead and pull that up for you and you can take a look. The staff member based in the transportation division has tested positive for COVID-19. This positive case has compromised staffing significantly, and there will be no fixed route bus service this week. The Journey program will continue to operate for those with medical needs, so call the Transportation Division at 949-597-4659. All right, let's go ahead and tell you who's on our show. We have the Mary and Dick Allen Center at Hogue with Dr. Kristine Moretti, and we also have the Old Pros. So we're going to be joined by them. They're going to talk a little bit about some of the upcoming shows that are going to be on our station. And we have one meeting today, and that is the third Landscape Committee meeting, which will be at 9:30 this morning. Let's give you our regular resources. We go to ochealthinfo.com. It's where you can get the numbers per day. cdc.gov is where you're going to stay healthy with COVID-19. covid19.ca.gov is where you can get all the California numbers and the governor's reopening plans. Or you could go to our website, which is lagunawoodsvillagealerts.com, and you can always email us at info@lagunawoodsvillage.com. Let's take a look at our weather. It's looking very lovely this weekend and next couple of days. Thursday is going to be 78-59, Friday 81-61, and for your holiday, it's going to be 85-63. And then Sunday, it is going to get quite a bit hotter, 89-65. And then Monday, it's going to be around 86-64. So we are expecting some warm temperatures. Our sunrise and sunset, the sunrise this morning was 5:45. And that is changing as time goes on. And it's going to be a sunset at 8:04. And Alan, good capture on this beautiful butterfly in a local pretty plant with some flowers. Thank you, Alan, for sending that. And if you have a beautiful photo that you would like to send in, please email it to us at lagunawoodsvillagetv@gmail.com. All right, when we return, we are going to have Dr. Moretti. Thank you. See you in a bit. Today I am joined by Dr. Kristine Moretti, who is here with the Mary and Dick Allen Diabetes Center at Hogue, and she is a nurse practitioner. Well, Kristine, thank you for joining me. How are you doing?
I'm doing so good. How are you?
Good. I appreciate you taking the time to talk with us. I know things have gotten a little chaotic these last few months, but hopefully it's not been too draining on you.
Oh gosh. Well, I've actually been okay. Personally, I'm fine. With our patients, it's been draining for them actually. Yeah. So they've been affected by it emotionally, I should say.
No, exactly. And, our residents are the age of 55 and over, averaging about 72, 74 years of age. So we've heard a lot about the concern, not so much about them staying at home, but what happens when they do stay at home.
Right.
And it's an isolation, depression type of issue. So I'm imagining you're probably dealing with that. But before we get into that, maybe you could give us a little background on who you are and what you've been doing.
Okay, thank you. So as you said, my name is Kristine Moretti, and I'm a nurse practitioner at the Diabetes Center. That's the Mary and Dick Allen Diabetes Center in Newport Beach. And then we also have another office in Irvine. And I've been here for not very long. Actually, it's about close to going on 4 months now. But I've worked at Hogue Hospital for more than 15 years. I took some time away from Hoag and worked in a private doctor's office, internal medicine, where I specialize. My specialty is in geriatrics, adult geriatrics. So I took care of a lot of patients who were in the older population, but also a lot of our patients had diabetes, both type 1 and type 2. So I managed the diabetes and their comorbidities, which can be vast. So a lot of different types.
Well, exactly. And when you say comorbidities these days, it really kind of sends a little bit different message, because with COVID-19, many of the people who have been truly affected by the disease is those with comorbidities.
Yes.
So in your line of work, what is it that is really at risk? Is it those with comorbidities? Is it certain comorbidities? What has been your experience?
Okay. So in a nutshell, okay, I would tell you that, first of all, anybody who has diabetes, it doesn't mean right away, bingo, you are now going to get COVID. But what it does mean is that it does put you at a higher risk if your diabetes isn't managed, right? So if your diabetes isn't controlled, those issues of high blood sugars, fluctuating blood sugars, whether they go too high or too low, that does put you at a higher risk. And that risk being that it affects your immune system, it affects your circulation. So those things, we need that good circulation, right? And we need to have a strong immunity. And if we don't have those things, because our diabetes is not well managed, then of course it does put you at risk. And the risk it can be severe. So you really have to be cautious, and I don't want to scare people. Honestly, I don't. I just want them to continue to be smart about it and make good decisions. And don't get overwhelmed, because I hear that and I see that, and I get nervous for my wonderful patients who I've actually seen during telehealth who have anxiety attacks. I mean, and it's warranted. Because they watch so much news, or we all do. I'm guilty of the same thing. I'll turn the TV off, honestly, and I'll listen to music or just go for a walk with my dogs or something to distract me. Anyway.
No, that's great. I mean, it's good that you identify that, because, saying that if you have managed diabetes, then your risks are way lower, which I think is very important for everyone to know, because of course, all you hear about, as you mentioned in the news, is that people with these specific comorbidities scare everybody half to death. Right. And we need to be the people, you, me being in the television industry, being able to just dismantle, I think, some of the myths that are out there right now revolving this disease. So thank you for that information. That's perfect. How has your practice changed because of the social distancing and just the general quarantining with this disease and coronavirus?
Okay. So specifically in our office, they're very good about managing when patients come in. We check their temperature right away when they cross that threshold that they're at the entrance. Check temperatures, ask for symptoms, and we ask that the patients put a mask on. We ourselves get our temperatures checked when we arrive at work, and the same questions are asked of us, and we wear our masks. Social distancing is very important. Washing our hands, all the things that you've heard about from the CDC, those are the recommendations that we abide by as well. In terms of being with our patients one-on-one, we again wear our masks. Most of the time, we've kind of slowed down in terms of our telehealth. In the beginning of COVID, it was majority, everything was telehealth. The entire hospital became telehealth, which was crazy. It got a little very busy with our technological people, and so. But anyway, we accomplished that, and it went very well, and the experience turned out really good for both our patients and ourselves. But so we are slowly having our patients come into the office now, and as I was saying, social distancing. And when we're in the office, we wear our masks, they wear a mask, and we wash our hands, before we see them and afterwards. and sanitize. We sanitize the area afterwards, making sure in between patients that it's clean.
Well, that's good. I mean, I know that several of the hospitals in our area are coming back to somewhat of a normalcy.
Right.
However, we are still seeing COVID-19 cases.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
you know, they are on the rise a bit, which
Right.
I think we expected. But again, we have to look at the numbers of how many people get it and recover just fine.
Right.
So,
And no, I just want to reiterate with that. I think people understand that the reason the numbers are going up is because there is so much more testing, right? Now we're opening up the box and we're seeing how many people actually have it or had it and they're immune with antibodies. But it doesn't, I don't want people to also just relax on that. And I don't want them to get too overly, I don't want to say paranoid, but I don't want them to get too afraid, but just again, common sense, realizing what's happening and continue to use the same cautions as you did before. And I also wanted to say that, as I was saying, during our telehealth experience with my patients, some of them have exhibited anxiety. And you can reach out to people. We have wonderful behavioral health services at Hoag. So please don't hesitate. Let us know how you're doing. We're always there for you. So just putting that out there. Okay.
That's great. And I like that because I think some people may need that more than others for sure,
Right.
based on their anxiety levels or how.
Or if they're living alone, and they don't have family or friends close by. Yeah, call us. Honestly, we're there for you.
Perfect. Let's talk about how managing, what are the differences in how you manage folks with diabetes as opposed to a younger or more of a middle-aged population?
Okay. So the difference between the two, it's a wide variety of differences. Basically, as you age, things slow down, right? So what does that mean? Well, that means our kidney function slows down, our heart function slows down. You're more susceptible to lung diseases, and I think I mentioned that your immune response is slower. Your reflexes are slower. There's so many different aspects. It's in a lot of ways, it's probably nice because you do get to slow down. I'm sure you want to keep on going, but you get to relax a little bit more and enjoy life. But anyway, so the difference is being the medications are the same, but you're going to be a little more aware and cautious because as we age, we may be taking more medicines, obviously, than someone who's younger. So there are those interactions with different medications. And as I said, because of our body function slowing down, you would make dose adjustments, right? And then a big thing with diabetes and the older population is the risk of hypoglycemia when your sugars go too low, right? It's a risk for any diabetic. But anyone who's taking insulin or medications that stimulate your insulin, the risk for the elderly and very young as well is the hypoglycemia. And I'm sure that any diabetic person would tell you that when your sugars are low, it doesn't feel good at all. It's scary. So you could actually become unconscious. So there's that risk of fall when you're an elderly person. And not only are you now, in a coma, possibly, that's a worst case scenario, or you broke your hip when you fell, right? Or maybe it also causes confusion. So, you can be taking a different medication and in fact, it may be the wrong one you think is going to help you with your low sugar, but it's not. So there's all these factors, right? So you consider as a provider, you consider the medications you're taking and you make dose adjustments. And you also make changes to targets. When you're diabetic, you look at your targets, you want to stay within a certain target. Generally, this is what you strive for. And when you're older, we want to make sure that we don't have that hypoglycemic risk. So we'll adjust that target and not make it quite as strict. And there again, people talk about A1C, right? I'm sure you've heard of that term, A1C. So your A1C is an excellent tool for diagnosing. It's also a tool for checking and seeing how your diabetes is doing as time goes on every 3 months. Or 2 months, it could be between 2 and 3 months. But there are these wonderful other tools, and I wanted to talk just for a second about that. That is it's exciting, and it's innovative and it's cutting edge to a certain degree. They've been out there for a while, but they're always up and coming new devices. And I talked to my elderly population about it, and some of them have those fears. Oh, I don't want to, I don't want something that's technological attached to me or whatever. What I'm trying to get to is something called continuous glucose monitoring. And what it is it's a way to measure your sugars without having to poke yourself, 4, 5, 6, 7 times a day. And also it lets you know, the patient and the provider know how you're doing in real time. Because what it does is it shows and presents these fantastic graphs that let us know if you're in range and how much in range you are in percentage throughout the day.
So in closing, what would do you have a few more things you'd like to say to us just about, the operation and that people shouldn't be afraid to come in?
That they should not be afraid to come in, is that what you said?
Right.
Yes, please come in. Don't be afraid to come in. We are here for you. It's important that you come in if you're having any symptoms, any problems with your diabetes. And one more thing I'd like to mention is that our center is currently providing some insulin that's free, actually. We have provided this insulin for people that are going through some tough times. Maybe it's because of COVID. We don't, if you're having a hard time getting your insulin, we have insulin available, fast-acting and long-acting insulin. Don't be afraid to come in. Like I said, it's important that you take care of your health, and we are here for you. So that's it.
Excellent. Well, I appreciate you taking the time. You have a great day, doctor, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Thank you so much. It was nice to meet you. Thank you.
You too. Thank you. And we'll be right back after this.
There are everyday actions to help prevent the spread of respiratory diseases. Wash your hands. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Stay home when you are sick. Cover your cough or sneeze. Clean and disinfect frequently touched objects with household cleaning spray. For more information, visit cdc.gov/COVID-19. This message brought to you by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Welcome back. Today I am joined by Carol Shallon and Cheryl Strix, who's here on behalf of the Old Pros. Well, ladies, how are you doing?
Well, I'm doing fine. Cheryl, how are you? I miss you.
I miss you too, Carol, and I'm so happy to see you. I'm doing well myself. Thank you.
It's so hard, and I know this has been going on forever, and we're just kind of sick of it, I know, but boy, we just can't seem to contain this stupid thing. So we'll do our Zooms as much as we can and keep everyone informed and keep everybody healthy. So let's go ahead and start with you, Cheryl. I know you guys have been doing, Tales of the Woods. I've been seeing it. I had to play a little mini cameo.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
It's scary. Like,
Thank you.
Gosh.
Yes. I think that airs, was that airing this month or is it next? It's coming up in,
I don't know the schedule, but I'm sure it's on its way soon.
Actually, it's on now. I actually thought when it all happened, we weren't, I was going to take a little vacation and I wasn't going to have to do anything. And then Dave DeSantis contacted me and said, hey, why don't we just interview the actors backstage? Okay, so so that was for April. And then Sharon Rosen and I got together and we started writing apocalypse type of episodes. So our first one is actually called The Apocalypse, and that aired in April.
Okay, right.
And I'm sorry, that must have aired in May.
I think it was more May, yeah.
Yeah, and that's the one that you were in.
Right.
And then in June, it was playing right now is Who's That Masked Man? And
name.
I'm sorry, Who's That Masked Man is going to be coming up in July. The Apocalypse has been showing in it's so confusing because we keep writing and the really wonderful thing is all our rehearsals are all Zoom and our shooting is all Zoom, and Dave DeSantis is right on target because it's so easy. We have only a few rehearsals because the actors at this point don't have to memorize, and Dave is able to edit it. He has a apparently he has some time to edit. And so he's doing a fabulous job. And so we're right on time. We're right on schedule each month. So
Good.
what's coming up next for July is Who's That Masked Man? And that should be pretty interesting.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? Might as well. It's when in Rome, right? You might as well just do what we're doing now. So that's great. I'm glad you guys are able to keep.
And I do have to apologize to you because Dave sent me the credits, and I said you need to include Lisa Hart in it, and he didn't. He
yeah.
So next time you see him, give him a hard time.
I'm gonna have to give him a lashing. Shame
Right.
on him. Shame on him.
Right.
Now, Carol, what have you been up to?
Well, I'm part of the programming committee for the Old Pros, and we were so delighted because this year we had the entire year mapped out and ready to go. And it's still sitting there ready to go. In fact, we had to cancel one of the performances. It was March 13th, and that was the day when everything got shut down.
Mm-hmm.
So we've been looking at what are we going to do when we start back up again. The Zoom for our meetings, we put on hold for a while. We were thinking of maybe doing some very simple monologue kind of programming, which gave rise to something that we are considering doing, all things being equal, is a class of monologues that would be conducted with a maximum of 5 performers being involved in it. And this would be like a master class. Alex Brazda, who's a professor and has done a lot of this along the way, has volunteered to do it. And we were planning on starting in August. We figured out we would still be under some form of isolation so that we could do it in an outside area with a maximum of 5 people plus the professor. And that at this point is still available, and more information will be going out both on the air and online.
Yeah, I mean, as we understand now, that is still an available situation where you can't meet in a small group, distancing and wearing your mask. So that's good. So at least you're able to still conduct something like that. Right. Beyond 10 people, I think they're just really scaling way, way back. I don't even think it's allowed right now.
I'm sorry, what is
the 10 people or more congregation.
Oh, right.
I don't think you can even do that right now. So that's good. I would definitely keep the numbers low. So, well, that sounds like an exciting opportunity.
Right, right.
And you can only, and did you say there's space still available now?
Well, we haven't put it out yet.
Oh, okay.
So and we're waiting to see what happens, because it may be that we will offer several 5-person classes depending upon the response that we get. Okay. But we just wanted to give, actors need to be acting, and this would be an opportunity and to hone one's skills.
Exactly. Well, that's great. Well, I'm glad. I mean, you're both busy ladies, I'm sure. You've got lots of other things going on. You know, where have you been? Like, have you gone out and about? I would imagine you both have at some point.
Costco has always been my favorite store. So it still is. I think that if I don't go, they're going to send me a notice saying, "Where are you?" But I've gone to Costco, and Costco is really very good about things. I also started walking 5 miles a day. So so I actually have been able to maintain my not gaining weight.
Well, you know, as many times as we like to sit down and have some wine and some more wine, I mean, you definitely have to keep in some sort of exercise. That is for sure. How about you, Carol?
Well, Mark and I have been walking down to the creek just about every single day. And Mark has been posting these pictures outside for the inside. I'm the spotter, so he's there with his lens, and I'm checking out to see, oh, look we found a turtle that was actually swimming in the creek, not just holed up on the side, but actually out there and swimming. Mm-hmm. So we have a lot of fun, and some days are just more prolific. We actually, one day, saw 5 coyotes across the creek.
Wow.
That was a cluster of 3 at one point, and 2 others came in, but there were 5 of them within the space of 5 minutes there on the creek, and it was around 9 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, yeah, they're not frightened anymore at all. They are just coming in for whatever they can get. So something to certainly be careful with, that's for sure. Well, good. Anything else you guys want to tell me about?
I'm taking golf lessons. When everything was closed down, my walking buddies who play golf said, let's walk on the golf course. And I thought, wow, I'd never been on it. It's really neat. So I've been taking golf lessons so I can eventually do that.
Oh, I think that's great. You know, it's a great sport. I played just last week, and you know, I'm not great at it, but once you take lessons, you know, you start to work on some of those skills, and they do help. I attest to that. That is for sure. How about you, Carol? Anything else?
Yes, like I had done with the Boleyn Inheritance for one of our monthly meetings. I found this wonderful book, and I started abridging it to make a presentation, which went over quite well. Did the same thing with Guernsey Inheritance. And I'm looking at a couple of programs right now. One is called The Dollhouse. I haven't gotten the book yet, but as soon as I get my hands on it, I think that will be a fun one to abridge for next year's meetings.
That's good. That's great. Well, ladies, thank you so much. I'm happy you're doing well, and you're, you know, adapting the best you can to all of these circumstances. So good luck with your shows and classes, and we'll talk to you next time.
Thanks,
Thank
Lisa.
you, Lisa.
All right. And we'll be right back after this.
Welcome back. Well, I wanted to give you some reminders about what's coming up this Saturday, July 4th. They're going to have the golf cart parade. So you're going to be able to decorate your golf cart, or if you don't have a golf cart, you can decorate your lawn, your home, windows, you can decorate your face coverings, and of course, wear patriotic clothing. Then you can also spread cheer by honking and waving as the parade goes by. It will begin at 9:30 a.m. at Clubhouse 1 and Clubhouse 5. So if you would like to know more about that, you go to lagunawoodsvillage.com and click on the news icon. All right, just a couple of concerts for you this day. We have the HER concert at 5 p.m. You can go to Instagram and type in HERM Music Official. Then also at 5 p.m. we have experimental music, and you can go to fridmangallery.com/solos. Let's take one last quick look at our weather. It is going to be very warm coming up towards the end of the week, but we're looking good, well, towards Friday and Saturday anyway. We are looking really good with 78-59. 81-61, Saturday 85-63, Sunday 89-65, and then 86-64. So going to be pretty warm out there. So stay healthy, and you guys have a great day in the village, and we'll see you back here again tomorrow.